Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's JebbyXD. I make a YouTube video like 1 to 3 times a year. Eventually I'm gonna get better about it. Honestly, with this style video, I have some ideas, so we might be pumping out some more content. I might have some people who want to get involved with said content. So, as you can see, I'm in a new background again. I have moved once again. I actually have a really cool setup that I'm excited to use, but it's not quite ready yet. So for today, I've got myself backed up against my mantle in my living room, and we're going to talk about something that I don't think I'm the only one who realizes is a problem or feels like is a problem, but today we're going to talk about the photographers of threads. Because are y'all good? Like, every time I see something from a photographer on threads, I'm like, whew, my God, like, are you guys okay? I hope and I assume in my brain, because the way the internet works now, is that this is all rage bait. But the problem is that it's working, and I'm going to talk about it. So today we're going to go through some of the posts on photographers from threads, and I'm going to talk about my opinion. Before you freak out about anything that I say, it is my opinion. I might not be right. I'm just going to talk about what I see on this platform. Because honestly, I think this might be worse than like Facebook or even Twitter. Like, I have never seen the amount of crybaby behavior that I have seen on threads. So today, we're going to talk about it. So when I was originally thinking about doing these videos, I thought, oh, I'm going to go pre-find stuff and then we're going to talk about it. However, I think it's more interesting and more fun because it's so easy to find just asinine things on threads that we're actually going to do this live. So I'm going to open up threads on my phone, brand new for the first time today, and we're going to see how long it takes to stumble upon some bullshit. And wouldn't you know, right out of the gate, we've got a post. I'm actually going to hide the people's names and the people who originally posted this stuff. A, because I'm not hating on these people individually. We're all out here just trying to get our clicks, you know, make a little extra money since the economy is tanking. So, I don't want to draw any negative attention to these people. I don't want any of my videos somehow, if one does get popular, I don't want anybody to experience any hate from this. I just want to talk about this stuff. But, to no surprise, the second I open threads, we got a little bullshit here. And I guess I can't necessarily say that this person's a photographer, but it's photography related. So we're going to start here. The user says, "Photographers don't come for me. Actually, you can. I don't care." A lot of mixed signals already here, miss. "But as an event host, you telling me that your turnaround rate for event photos is 7 to 10 days is wild, and not even offering a preview gallery? If you tell me that's how long it'll take you to get my photos, I won't work with you." I mean, this is a pretty standard attitude I see on threads a lot, especially from like a planner's point of view, which is pretty interesting to me because the planners out of everyone should know how busy all the vendors are and that every client is not their only client. But whatever. My turnaround time is 7 to 14 business days. I'm gonna be honest, that's pretty standard. That's actually pretty quick compared to most people. 7 to 10 days is not that long of a time, especially if it's like a corporate event or some event party. Obviously, occasionally you might need to like put up a couple previews on the company Facebook, or somebody wants something for their LinkedIn. But at the end of the day, none of that is the end of the day. So I'm curious to see what the comments say about this, because honestly, my favorite part is going to see the comments. Our first response I see here, which honestly kind of slay. Like, anybody with this sort of attitude, A, is rage baiting. I get that, but it is annoying. But they do deserve a little bit of clapback for the attitude. So our first response here is, if you love photography and work events, don't accept jobs from people like this. They will drain you, lowball you, explain to you how to do your job, and drop you the instant they find someone who will do more for less and faster, regardless of quality. And that is honestly very true. The amount of jobs I have lost to other people simply because I responded to an inquiry 2 hours later because maybe I was on a shoot or maybe I was just doing something with my life is pretty astounding. Like, a lot of people, when they are searching for a photographer, they really are looking for somebody that they think can just click a button, and that's totally fine. That's not my clientele, so I'm not in competition for the people whose clientele that is. So this is from a professional photographer. "I'm a professional photographer and I like to edit the photos while I'm driving home from the event. I have a laptop mount on my dashboard right above my steering wheel. In some special cases, I will edit the photos before the event even happens. I usually deliver those 2 to 3 days before the event." Interesting. I don't know how the photos would be edited before the event, because you wouldn't have the images of the event unless somehow this person is going to the event space ahead of time. I'm interested to see the replies to this here. I honestly don't know if this is a joke or if this is like some like photography guru jargon. So I'm not going to judge them too heavily because somebody did say underrated comment, more of us need to deliver before the event happens. And then everybody else is kind of laughing. So I'm like, okay, so this might be like sarcastic, but still interesting to think about. And obviously, our third comment down is going to be somebody who's offering a little bit more pushback in a little bit less of a respectful way. This user says, I don't actually understand why you think this was a great post. Which most of the time when I see people post on threads, I feel that way exactly. I'm like, I don't know how you read this and then clicked post, but you did, and we're all here now, and suddenly it's none of our business. But anyway, that's not what this user's saying. I'm getting on a side tangent. I actually don't understand why you think this is a great post. Just don't book with that person if they can't meet your needs. If you find one good event photography that hits the mark, why not repeat business? Dragging down others because of a 7 to 10 reasonable turnaround time is just ugly. You literally could ask, hey, I would like some for socials within 24 hours, and probably get it. Contracts are everything. And that's definitely true. I think that it's interesting and somewhat in part due to the industry's attitude. That was my TV turning off. Forgot to turn it off. I think in part due to the intimidation factor that the industry now kind of carries with so many people on Instagram talking about photography, so many people seeing different stories about people getting screwed over by their photographers. I think a lot of people are just looking for a photographer that checks all their boxes without necessarily feeling confident in asking for those boxes to be checked, if that makes sense. So like this user, OP does kind of sound like somebody I would not want to be around. They sound rude, and honestly, I wouldn't feel jazzed to maybe work under them or whatever. But if they came to me and said, hey, these are the check marks I'm looking for, then I would just provide them with a package or, provide them with something that would hit all their boxes. Whether they want to pay that rate or not is up to them. But at the end of the day, if somebody wants 24-hour event gallery turnaround time instead of my standard 7 to 14 business days, you're going to pay more for that. And that's fine because the quality is still going to be great. Okay, so this next story is a little bit long-winded, but it is something that I'm questioning whoever this photographer is and their business practices. I have seen people do stuff like this quite a bit, and it's part of what makes our industry become somewhat scammy. It's what makes clients or potential clients nervous to approach photographers. So it starts with, photographers of threads, I need your insight. My friend won a giveaway for a boudoir photo shoot, and the photography company was real fucking shady about it. Ooh! She started off heated, and honestly, I did read this one a little bit because I had to make sure it was like worth putting in the video. I get it, don't worry. The photo shoot is free, the photo package was not. When she won, they immediately went into trying to get her to commit to a $3,000 photo package and ended up pressuring her into their cheapest package at $1,200. She asked me to come for moral support as it's 3 hours away from home. I wasn't allowed in the studio, so I found a coffee shop to hang at for 3 hours. When it came time to head back to the studio, they went over an hour over their time because after hair and makeup was done, the photographer took 150 photos and kept trying to upsell my friend to buy more. She wanted to give my friend 8 photos for $1,200. They settled on 10. Does this sound fair? I respect photography as a profession and fully support entrepreneurs appropriately pricing their services, but the way these people kept trying to push a more expensive photo package onto my friend is infuriating me. Back when she won the giveaway and they manipulated her into the $1,200 package over the phone, she called them back crying and politely asked them if they could refund it, give it to a relative who was interested and willing to pay, or simply choose someone else, and they refused. So, as a professional photographer, I don't know what area they're based in. I don't know. Honestly, that's like the main thing. The main thing is area that they're based in. $1,200. That could have included the hair and makeup artist. That could include a studio cost. That's obviously going to include the photographer's time. But giveaways are kind of always an issue. I used to do some, now I don't do them at all. Giveaways are just unclear. People aren't exactly sure what's going on. And I think that if you're going to use a giveaway as some sort of advertising or promotional experience for people, the entire experience really needs to be free, or it needs to be really laid out what that means, and not just like in the fine print on your website talking about the giveaway. If you're going to post this giveaway on Instagram, all that information has to be on Instagram. Giveaways also, whenever they happen online, can be very shady and very sketchy, so just beware of doing anything like that anyway. But obviously, the main and worst part of this is that this photographer claimed to be doing a giveaway for people, and then they upsold this person on a $1,200 package for 10 photos. Again, I'm not going to say that that's absolutely outrageously priced, depending on what the package is. Obviously, again, it's a boudoir photo shoot, but is there no itemized invoice? Is there no breakdown of costs? Like, how do we not know exactly what this $1,200 is being allocated to? And again, if you're going to use a giveaway as some sort of marketing tactic, just actually give away the thing that you're giving away. Don't rope people into joining a giveaway so you can collect all their data and then try to rope them into buying something, because then at that point they feel obligated to do it and they're not going to enjoy the experience and they're going to have nothing good to say about you. Obviously, again, I don't know if this is a ChatGPT written story. I don't know if this is real, but it does sound real because I've heard this story before and I've seen photographers do this in action, and it's just not cool. So if you're the photographer somehow watching this, or if you're a photographer who does this sort of model, I really encourage you to stop that. It's a very scamming feeling model, and it's really not that hard to book clients if your work is good. And if your work is, if you're charging $1,200 to $3,000 for a boudoir photo shoot, I would assume that your work is pretty good. How do you feel about some of the stuff you've seen on Threads today? For our third photographer of Threads, this is a topic that I hear people talk about a lot, and this is a pretty interesting attitude and way to frame this question. Why does a client not even think about tipping their videographers or photographers on a wedding or event, but the waiter that hands you a cheeseburger gets at least 20% of the bill? Make it make sense. Yeah, I mean, it is pretty remarkable how asinine people can be. So we're going to go through some of the comments first. I think the first comment here sums things up pretty well from a photographer's point of view. Probably because they've already laid out literally thousands of dollars to get us there in the first place. And that's definitely true, especially if you're seasoned in the wedding industry. You're probably making anywhere between $1,000 to $10,000 just to be there. A tip is always nice. It's always appreciated. A lot of my couples tip me, so thank you to you guys if you're watching this. But it is not expected, and I don't think a tip necessarily should be expected in any industry. It just sort of is, especially in the restaurant industry now, because it is common knowledge that people who are working as a server, a waitress, a waiter, whatever you want to call them, are often not making minimum wage hourly like everyone else is. So, whatever. I just hate this attitude. I think it's weird, and I think it makes you look really bad for your business. So I'm not blasting people because I'm not trying to be mean, but if you're somebody who has this mentality, you need to price for making money without tips, and any tip is a gift. So in response to that first comment, which this is a pretty rare occurrence for people, I think, the original poster said, like going to a very expensive restaurant and paying a $2,000 bill. Are you not going to tip? So I think the original comment's logic still applies in that the people who show up to a restaurant and spend $2,000, A, are a rare case, or B, have a large group of people, but they did not prepay $2,000 to show up at the restaurant. So again, the OP's logic is just a little bit lost. So we're going to keep looking at some of the other comments, see if maybe there's other photographers who are in the same boat as this original poster. I'm a wedding photographer, and I find it repulsive that wedding professionals chase tips. And honestly, I agree. Repulsive is like pushing it a little bit, but I do think, again, it's strange to like shame clients or make people feel bad for not tipping in literally every single industry that exists. Again, like I price my packages to make the money I need to make with or without a tip. And if you are running a business, specifically a photography business, you should be doing the same. And I want to end with this comment, specifically actually for the OP's response, because I think this kind of sums up exactly the type of business owner this person is. And I think maybe the bigger issue for them not getting tips is potentially their attitude and not that their clients just don't want to tip people. Somebody said, because the waiter gets minimum wage, and if you're worried about tips to get by, just put 20% on your prices. Did you tip the last person at the supermarket checkout you last used? And OP said, yeah, I do. I don't know any supermarkets. I feel like that's the one place, like I haven't been to a supermarket that's turned the payment portal or whatever, the payment terminal and asked me to tip, but maybe this OP has experienced it. Maybe the original poster has experienced it. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm just not calling him a truther. But yeah, I do. I tip every time I'm asked by us, little stupid machine. I'm not worried, but your attitude is garbage, so just keep it moving, tough guy. What? This is what I mean. This is what I mean by like photographers of threads. Are y'all okay? Because the attitude is crazy. Like, I don't even think that commenter really had that much attitude. Like, obviously, yes, they're kind of pushing back, but you had to have known when you made this post you were going to get pushback. I think at the end of the day, that's always my biggest surprise with seeing things on threads, but really anywhere. I actually want to do more of this similar series, but seeing stuff in Facebook groups. I'm in a lot of like photography beginning groups and just like groups where people help each other. And I see honestly some of the most outlandish stuff being asked in there, and not just like outlandish in terms of, oh, how does this person not know that? But more so just like morally outlandish things. And yeah, that's what's making the industry feel like a scam, if I'm being honest. I feel thankful that my clients and I have a great working relationship, knock on wood. No, I mean, I know you would be a great client, but I have sensed, especially when I get an inquiry or I'm talking to a new client, I have sensed that there's a little bit of this like hesitancy with trust. And I think a lot of it is due to the fact that there's people like some of these posts we've seen today who really have no understanding of our industry, and a lot of people get into it thinking it's a get rich quick scheme. It is not, and when you disappoint people taking their photos, it's going to be really hard to build a business. So, that was all for today's episode of Photographers of Threads. If you like this video, let me know. I'll keep doing more videos like this. I do want to, like I said, make more in this series, not just Threads, because Threads is sort of a nightmare anyways. But if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know how you guys feel about some of OPs, specifically about the tipping question. I would like to know if you're a photographer or you're somebody who's looking into photography, or even if you're a client or a potential client, not of mine, just in general, or mine if you want. If you are somebody who's ever hired a photographer, looking for a photographer, is a photographer or a videographer, how do you feel about the tip thing? Because I know people on both sides. A lot of people are like, yes, this should be a tipped service, and other people are kind of like me, where I feel, hey, we decide what we charge, and so it should cover everything you need. I don't find it like this moral issue if people don't tip. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel. Hopefully I'll have another video out for you soon. I actually have another one recorded. I just haven't edited it yet. That word is so hard for me. I filmed a unboxing and kind of put together video of my, what is it, DJI RS4 Mini. I'm really bad with names, but I filmed the unboxing, putting it together, and I actually filmed a wedding video in Jamaica using that gimbal, so hopefully I'll get that video out soon. Now that the video's done, I wanted to complete that before I released any footage from it, obviously, and now I'm yapping. So if you like the video, subscribe if you want to. You don't have to. I don't make videos that often, so if you do, I won't bother you that much. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Jebby XD.